Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to take a look at the short little catalog of a very cool band, a band that's hasn't been around all that long, but they have been making waves on the kind of psychedelic stoner rock scene, right? They're also kind of a jammy band. You could also say they're kind of a doomy band. They're kind of a proggy band in spots. I'm talking about San Diego's very own Earthless. They've got, 5 full-length albums. They've got a couple of live albums. They've got some EPs and split things and all that sort of thing. We're mainly going to be talking about their 5 studio albums today. Okay, so I'm going to rank these from my least favorite to my favorite. I will say I don't dislike any of these at all. All 5 of them are pretty damn spectacular. This has been one of my great discoveries over the last year. I really, really love this band a lot. Their guitar player, Isaiah Mitchell, in my opinion, is one of the most exciting younger guitar players on the scene today. This guy is a serious player. This band is a trio, and what I will say is if you've never listened to them before, I say this all the time, and I kind of say it jokingly, but in reality, not really. If you can imagine Jimi Hendrix jamming with Bill Ward and Geezer Butler of Black Sabbath. That's basically what these guys sound like to me. Most of their stuff is instrumental. They do have one album that's got vocals on it and, another vocal track or two kind of spattered amongst their other albums. But for the most part, they're a instrumental band. Again, Isaiah Mitchell, vocals, guitars and effects. Mario Rubalcaba on drums and percussion, and Mike Eggington on bass. That is the band. So let's get started on my ranking here. Coming in at number 5 from 2018. This was actually the first album I heard from the band. It is called Black Heaven. All right, there it is right there. This is on Nuclear Blast Records. I believe this was their first release on Nuclear Blast. They now have since reissued, Nuclear Blast has reissued most of their catalog on their label. So they're now pretty easy to get, but this, I believe, was their first release on the label. And this is also their first album with mainly all vocals throughout most of the tracks. There still are a couple instrumentals on here, but it's mostly vocal-oriented, shorter songs, right? Because as you'll hear coming up in just a couple minutes, these guys are really into big, long, epic-length tracks with all sorts of exploratory jamming. But this one is more of a vocal-oriented album, much more of like a hard rock, heavy blues rock, stoner rock, that type of thing, right? Little bits of doom. You've got on here, you got Gifted by the Wind is very cool, kind of kickstart the album. It's kind of early Black Sabbath-y, Black Label Society style hard rocker, kind of like stoner rocker type of thing. And in fact, Isaiah, who sings on this album, his vocals kind of sound like a mix between like a young Ozzy and Zakk Wylde. So that sort of thing. So just so you know what to expect. You got End to End is quite heavy and doomy. Great song. Electric Flame is another really good headbanger track. You got Volt Rush is a brief but pretty kick-ass instrumental. You got the title track Black Heaven is an absolutely monster instrumental jam with big behemoth riffs and just absolutely sizzling lead guitar. This guy is one of the best lead guitar players going today. Just unbelievable. But this track is just absolutely incredible. It's called Black Heaven. The drumming is also off the charts. And I will tell you, if you check this album out and you like the track Black Heaven, it's even better and longer on their Earthless from the West live album. Amazing on here. Amazing on here. What else we got on here? You got the closer, Sudden End, is kind of like this doomy southern rocker styled song. Kind of like that. Again, kind of sounds like Black Label Society. A little more of a southern rock influence on that one. Interestingly enough, when I first heard this album, again, I hadn't heard any of their other stuff before. I loved this. And I was like, holy cow, this was I think this was in my top 10 releases of the year when this came out in 2018. But I hadn't listened to any of their other stuff before then. And now that I went kind of backwards after hearing this, and they have a newer album out too, I think I definitely like the all-instrumental albums better, even though this is really cool for what it is. And I'm guessing the band also likes doing the instrumental psychedelic things too, because that's, they just put out a new album recently, and that's all that once again. But regardless, this is still really good. And like I said, the title track is one of their best songs ever. It's just got a great riff, really cool, driving, hard, rocking, stoner, hard metal. It's not even metal. Stoner rock, psychedelic rock, whatever you want to call it, with just some amazing guitar solos. Great stuff. But yeah, this is coming in my number 5. Love it to death, though. Love it. Just great, great stuff. All right, so next up, we're going to go to 2007, Rhythms from a Cosmic Sky. Okay. You can tell by these like album covers and things, this definitely like psychedelic type stuff, right? So this guy has this really cool song called Godspeed, which opens up. Got all this crazy feedback and echoplex and lots of guitar noises before the drums finally kick in, and you get some kind of cool stoner style riffs. The guitar solo begins, and it's got a great groove. Isaiah soloing off to the stratosphere. Excellent, like 5. It's like a big long track. It's got like 5 little movements in between. Very, very cool. Then you got Sonic Prayer, which is very psychedelic. Got these weird kind of like intoxicating rhythms. And then like these heavy riffs come in. Screaming guitar solos. Very, very cool song. And then you got Cherry Red, which finishes it off a shorter track. This one is kind of like this kind of strange, funky, hard rock track with vocals that just sounds really out of place on this album. It's okay. But at least it's kind of short. I kind of tend to skip Cherry Red because it just doesn't really do a hell of a lot for me. But man, Godspeed and Sonic Prayer are excellent, excellent. So again, this has recently been reissued on Nuclear Blast, so you can get these pretty easily nowadays. So that's Rhythms from a Cosmic Sky is going to come in at number 4. Again, the two main tracks, amazing, amazing. All right, next we're going to go number 3 from 2005, Sonic Prayer. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. So this is obviously their debut full length. And, never has instrumental psychedelic rock sounded so exciting, to me anyway. Again, I love guitar-oriented music. I love crazy, screaming, wah-wah drenched, fuzz-drenched guitar solos. I love that sort of stuff. Flower Traveling Man kicks it off. 20 minutes of just absolutely mind-numbing Isaiah Mitchell guitar solos over pummeling rhythms. Doesn't get much better than this, folks. I'm telling you. Be ready to blast off into space. So good. I love the use of the wah-wah. Like I said, it's got wah-wah going on here, fuzz, delay effects, so cool. It's followed up by Lost in the Cold Sun, which is also 20-plus minutes. It's got some kind of Middle Eastern motifs going on, some more kind of like more plotting style rhythms, at least for part of the song. And then, these big doomy riffs pop in and out. And then, man, Mr. Mitchell steps on that wah-wah pedal and goes like absolutely berserk for like 10 minutes. And just obliterates everything in his path. It's just, he's got that pedal board with all these cool things on it. Uses all of them. And there's just like a really cool, like, psychedelic, doomy space rock vibe to this whole song. It's just absolutely amazing. Late in the song, the drums kick into high gear. Just absolutely jaw-dropping stuff. Like I said, 2 tracks, all you need. Highly recommended. This one could even rank higher, right? But it's number 3. Really, really good stuff. Number 2, I'm going to go to the latest one. And you know what? This might even eventually rank higher, but it's still so new. This has probably been one of my most played album of 2022 so far. Love it. Night Parade on 100 Demons. Kind of like Sonic Prayer. Just 2 tracks on here. You get the title track, part 1 and part 2. So it's like an hour's worth of this. 2 epic tracks. Loads of atmosphere. The first part builds and builds and builds before the big beefy riffs kick in. Busy drums, the big fat bass. Bass, if you love upfront, big fat bass lines all over these albums. And then the guitar solo kicks in, or guitar soloing, I should say. What a great tone from Isaiah. The production is a little bit different on this album. The guitar tones sound a little bit different. Just love it, though. And I love the way the band goes across these two epic length tracks, from haunting, atmospheric, and melancholy passages to blistering psychedelic space rock, to like these doomy riffs, then to like searing blues rock. It's like all over the place, but man, this shit is so freaking good. So good. I love it. And, very cool artwork here, right? It's just, you look at this and you kind of know what you're in store for, right? Now, you may look at this, oh, is that like some kind of weird black metal album? Nope. This is psychedelic, stoner, instrumental mayhem all the way, folks. Night Parade of 100 Demons 2022 is my number 2. My number 1, though, for now anyway, because these are all so good. There are days I'm listening, I'm like, I love this album, it's my favorite. And no, I love this album more. That's what I've been going through for the last couple weeks, getting ready to do this show. My number 1, though, I'm going to go for their 2013 release called From the Ages. Again, very cool artwork here on these albums. Look at this. 4 long tracks. Absolutely blistering, face-melting stuff from start to finish. Violence of the Red Sea is killer. 70s style, bluesy, hard rock, stoner rock, whatever you want to call it, with just absolutely killer riffs. Really great groove throughout the whole song, and just absolutely white-hot soloing from Isaiah Mitchell. Just amazing. And it gets better. Then you got what could be my favorite track from this band, alongside the other song I mentioned to you before, which was Black Heaven, is Uluru Rock. Wow. Doom-laden, heavy blues rock with just absolutely face-melting guitar solos, dripping with fuzz and wah-wah. Soloing that seems to go on forever, but you never want it to end. Again, Hendrix, Bill Ward, Geezer Butler, all together, jamming all night, smoking lots of weed. That's what this reminds me of. It's so good. Then you get the shorter track, the haunting Equus October. And then after that, you get the 30-minute title track, From the Ages, which is like a stoner rock ride to Mars with up-tempo grooves, screaming guitar solos. Just absolutely blow your mind. Wowza. I mean, just absolutely incredible. And I will mention once again that the track I talked about, Uluru Rock, which is on there, is also on From the West, which is a great live album, and it's probably even better on here. This is a killer live album from 2018, and it's got Black Heaven, Electric Flame, Gifted by the Wind, Uluru Rock, Volt Rush, Communication Breakdown, yes, a remake of the Led Zeppelin classic, Acid Crusher, and San Francisco 3118. Acid Crusher is a song that was only available on an EP they did, and I believe San Francisco also was from a split EP they did with another band. So what's cool about this, if you have this, you kind of get those tracks that were available elsewhere. So yeah, this is just amazing stuff, and also highly recommended, Earthless Live in the Mojave Desert, Volume 1. Don't know if they've released Volume 2 yet. This is from 2021. My guess is not. And this also has a couple tracks on here. This was recorded October 10th, 2020 in the Mojave Desert in California. They got Violence of the Red Sea is on here, Sonic Prayer, and Lost in the Cold Sun. And there are the guys. Isaiah is generally playing a Strat that I've seen, but there he is playing a Les Paul. All right there. But yeah, this... Guys... Again, this is not for everybody, all right? This kind of stuff is not for everybody. You gotta, just, like I said, stoner vibe riffs, kind of doomy, kind of bluesy 70s hard rock, and just tons and tons of psychedelic guitar freakouts. I mean, just whatever you want to call this, whether you want to call this, stoner rock or psychedelic rock or doom or blues rock or all of the above wrapped up in one. I think that's probably the best way. It doesn't get much better than this. Isaiah Mitchell is just an insane guitar player. I can't get enough of this guy. I mean, I've been listening to these in the car and just I'm going to drive off the road. I'm just getting into it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. Next thing you know, I'm like in the next lane. I'm like, man, this is just face melting stuff. I haven't been this excited about a kind of newish band. I mean, they've been around for a while now, but they're new to me in a long time. So there you have it. So I'm going to get number 1, From the Ages. Number 2, Night Parade on 100 Demons. Sonic Prayer, number 3, Rhythms from a Cosmic Sky, number 4, and number 5, Black Heaven. But you can start with any of them. They're all really, really great, and whatever you can get your hands on, you'll want to get more. And then go get the live albums, too, because they're fantastic as well. They've got a Bandcamp page. You can get all this stuff digitally if you like, but their CDs are pretty easy to get. Like I said, Nuclear Blast is carrying pretty much all this stuff at this point, so whatever you can't get from them direct on their Bandcamp is now, especially the studio stuff, is made available on Amazon and Nuclear Blast directly, or Century Media, or wherever you buy your stuff, you can get all this stuff pretty easily. So there you have it, everybody. Earthless, ranking the albums, a terrific band from San Diego. Check them out. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Did I say the Twitter thing? Yeah, I thought I was forgetting about that. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together all the damn time. That's what I should have said. But that's all right. I got into the whole spirit of things here. It's Sunday afternoon, and just loving some Earthless. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you are a fan of Earthless, rank them as you like them down in the comments below. If you've never listened to these guys, go out and check them out and report back. Let us know what you think. Go investigate some of this stuff. Great, great music. Stay tuned. We've got some more cool sounds from newish bands. We've got ranking the albums tomorrow on Monday, on Memorial Day. Jamie Laszlo and myself will be ranking the albums of Pallbearer. Okay, great Arkansas melodic, psychedelic, progressive doom metal band. All right, if you haven't checked them out, they're another really good youngish sort of band that have been around here in the 2000s. So that's coming up tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, along with the Hudson Valley Squares. And we're going to be, speaking of Doom, we're going to be doing an all Doom show. We're going to be talking about our favorite Doom albums of all time, not including Black Sabbath, right? So that's coming up tomorrow night in the usual time at the Hudson Valley Squares. And thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. We also have the links below to our Ko-Fi page and our merch page if you want to get some cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. What else is coming up on the channel? Oh, yeah, also, hopefully tomorrow you're going to get... I've had a lot of people ask, Pete, when are you going to do a show where you kind of list your favorite new bands of the 2000s? So I put together a list. I think I have a top 30 of bands who formed post-2000 and have released stuff in the last 22 years. So that is coming up. I got my top 30, but I've kind of done a little something interesting there, because I had a whole bunch, like maybe 10 or 12 of bands who were made up of veterans from other bands that put together new bands. And I didn't want to clue them in the main list. So I've got a main list of like 30 bands that you really should check out who formed and were newish post-2000. And then I've got like another 10 or 12 of bands who are comprised of, veterans from other bands who formed these new bands in the last 20 years that also deserve your attention. So I'll have the 2 lists. So that's coming up. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll get that to you. So we'll see how the day goes. So thanks for watching, everybody. I am Pete Pardo. It's all about Earthless here today. So check these guys out if you haven't already. And we'll see you real soon here on SOT. Take care. Bye-bye.